The president's misconduct cannot be decided at the ballot box.
So it's Groundhog Day again today. They're just rehashing the same thing.
The first day of opening arguments in the impeachment trial of President Trump just ending about an hour ago. House impeachment managers are walking the Senate through the evidence against the president step by step. CBS 4's Natalie Brand is covering the trial for us. She is live on Capitol Hill. Natalie?
And Elliot, in that clip, you heard Senator Rick Scott take aim at today's proceedings. He called it on Twitter partisan nonsense, said it's not convincing. Senate Democrats, meanwhile, called today's presentation compelling as House managers began laying out their timeline.
In day one of opening arguments, House impeachment managers spent hours laying out the details of their investigation that began months ago.
Clearly, Donald Trump felt the Ukrainians owed him.
On the Senate floor, lead manager Adam Schiff began building the House's case of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
President Trump withheld hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to a strategic partner at war with Russia to secure foreign help with his reelection. In other words, to cheat. The president's extensive effort to cover up evidence of his misconduct is unprecedented in American history.
During a dinner break, a number of Senate Republicans said they've heard nothing new.
I think we're going to see an awful lot of repetition, making the same points over and over again.
Late Wednesday, the president returned to Washington from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where he repeated he had done nothing wrong.
There's nothing here. I had a very innocent conversation with a very fine gentleman from the Ukraine, and it was based on that. People don't even want to talk about the conversation.
The president also said witnesses are up to the Senate, but claims executive privilege would prevent testimony from former National Security Advisor John Bolton and other key officials.
The Constitution protects executive privilege. There's a reason for that. There's constitutional privileges at stake that don't just affect this presidency, by the way, that affect the office of the presidency.
The president's defense team could begin presenting its case as early as Saturday.
And the president's attorney, Jay Sekulow, spoke to reporters after today wrapped. He was asked why not motion to dismiss the case, and he said both sides want to try their case. He's in favor of that, but he said he believes without question that the president will be acquitted. Now, while Florida Senator Scott described today as Groundhog Day, Senator Marco Rubio also tweeted out his thoughts, and of today's presentation, he called it a detailed timeline of events underpinning their case. We're told he's taking this very seriously, taking a lot of notes. The trial reconvenes at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Elliot?
Natalie, thank you. And stay with CBS 4 News and CBSMiami.com for continuing coverage of the impeachment trial. Live coverage from the Senate resumes tomorrow afternoon.